So, and I think the major thing that I have found that people, after doing for a long time light invocation, that they never sit down and clarify the different phases in the light invocation, but rather imitate, I should say, probably with just as much sincerity than somebody else would in the process. But they don't get anything in return, because you have to understand also you are a person. As a human being, you are a body and you're a mind, and both have to be cooperating. The problem that we have in the West here, we don't have enough interest in ourselves. And we pay great attention to what we put in our plate when we eat. And we fiddle things out and be very fussy about it. Now, this interest that I have a healthy body, and so I be careful with what I eat, how I sleep, and all this sort of thing, and acid rain in the air, and God knows what, that same interest has to be brought in, if necessary consciously, for what the whole person is, not just the body, but also mind and the five senses and the emotions, particularly. Like with all these things, it is a process that is the important. Like in Hatha Yoga, it's not if you can immediately perform the asana. It is the asana that you can perform, and through a particular process of you trying and practicing, that you will do the exercise and find out something about yourself. With a light invocation, it's quite simple. You can sit in front of a meal and close your eyes and think how it will taste. So you can do all sorts of exercise. The best that will help you fastest is to figure out where is your place in the universe. And have you anything to do with the universe? But if we want to cultivate our imagination, what we can do then, we just close our eyes and think, I'm sitting now somewhere in the ocean, wonderful sunlight, and feel the warmth. And I hear this. So we can do that. And what I have found out when people said, oh, I have done it 3, 4, 5 years, nothing ever happened, I said, show me what you do. And I said, but you have changed too much. I said, yeah, well, it is more comfortable this way. I said, no. It's like a surgeon would say, I cut your abdomen a little wider because it's more comfortable for me to have access to, better access or easier access. That is the same way. We have to think that we're dealing here with some quite serious material, and you have to be very accurate. And I think the concept of obedience from the old gurus has much to do so that you will not change anything in the exercises. So if we see this in our daily life, then we have much more understanding for the importance and the subtlety in which we are coming. Let's say I know of a person who is very ill, and I would love to help. But some part of my mind says, well, I don't know if this was a good thing, because maybe it's a karmic situation. Maybe it's a challenge given to it. I can put that person into the light and not be concerned about any of this. You see, and that's very important. Because, put it in very simple, straight words, who am I to tell God what to do? I can express some feelings and thoughts of concern and wanting to help by doing that exercise for the person. But then I have to leave it to the divine powers, how they are seen by various individuals. So, and what then happens will happen. If a spiritual healing is in the cards, it will happen. If it's not in the cards, then the individual may have to balance something out in their lives. Now, there is divinity in all of us. But how do we discover that? Unless we do something like the light invocation. You see, then we discover our own divinity. But it is also necessary to think of what the mantra of the light means, because I think it has always been known. We have the beginning even, God says there should be light, and there was light. And then we can investigate how we use the word light in our daily language. And so you have to say, well, if I'm created by divine light, how could this be possible? You know, so you have to come up with something, even if you can put it in words, but that is meaningful to you. And then I am sustained by divine light. Well, this may bring back, after you focus on that, on the meaning, on the mantra. Yeah, there is in the New Testament, isn't Jesus having said, man doesn't live by bread alone. So it means some other divine forces. So of course I am sustained by divine light. So you go through the whole mantra in that way. And if this is the case, then everybody is, of the light. And what do I worry about? And if I practice the light and think of it and try to see the light in others, I have the best protection I can ever think of. But if I meet you with suspicion, then I can have that experience, You have to desire the experience of the light passionately, and then it will happen. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.